Something that I talk about all the time with my other single girlfriends is the pickings that men have of women versus the pickings that women have of men is so unfair. I mean, I truly see a beautiful woman that stops me in my tracks at least once a day, multiple times a day. I see a very good looking, attractive man maybe once a quarter. That's being generous. Like, what is going on? Where are all the good looking men? Like, it's so unfair out here.
Oh, for you.
Well, the short answer, sister, is that they're avoiding you. But the long answer, we have to look to basic Chadnomics here. The types of men that you crave are profoundly rare. You're looking for incredibly good-looking, muscular, well-dressed, wealthy men. There aren't a whole lot of those to go around, and you're not really going to be seeing them walking down the street on your typical Wednesday afternoon. And in the rare occasion that you do see a man like this, they're not going to pay you any mind because they treat you the same way that you treat average men. You are invisible to guys like these. Yeah, sure, they may give you a couple of sentences when you're drunk at the club, but that's going to be about it. They got no problem taking you to Pound Town if they really do feel like it, but you're not going to get into a relationship with any of these men. The only way for that scenario to be even remotely plausible is if you're conjuring it up in your imagination. And just so you know, when you post this kind of cringe on the internet, men are just going to take one look at you and know exactly what you have to offer.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
I do believe I made a very narrow escape today. Let me tell you what happened. I'm a Facebook Marketplace girly. Okay, you're selling it, I'm buying it. Everything in my house is either thrifted or from Marketplace, except for my mattresses. I do have my limits. But I've saved thousands of dollars this way. And I like to put money in the hands of the people. Okay, you hear that, Bezos? Call me Robin Hood. So lately, we've had high winds in my area, and I've got a little backyard for the first time in my life. I've really made it. And there's a couch back there, and baby, those cushions, they've been flying. Flitting in the breeze. I'm chasing them around every morning in my PJs. My neighbor watches me. It's humiliating.
Wow. That's amazing.
All right, woman, let's just go ahead and get the obvious out of the way. Nobody is going to be calling you Robin Hood. You aren't supporting Jeff Bezos, but you are supporting Mark Zuckerberg, and that's pretty much the opposite side of the same coin. But if we want to get technical, well, no one's calling you Robin Hood because, for starters, Robin Hood is a dude, and no matter how much you want to, you're never going to qualify in that department. And the second is that Robin Hood had a gang of bandits that robbed greedy, evil landowners and redistributed their wealth to the peasant class. Now, if I stretch my imagination really far, I could see you as a potential bed warmer for the Sheriff of Nottingham if you show up at 12:15 and bring a friend, but that is pushing it. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe that people should have the right to private business, but you aren't changing the world by buying other people's used stuff, woman. There isn't much difference between you and your typical garage sailor. The biggest difference is that you wear aviator sunglasses because you think it makes you look cool, which, trust me, lady, it really doesn't.
So I thought I need a little storage box for these cushions I take to Marketplace. Bada bing, bada boom, stage right. This guy. I message the sweet older gentleman who's selling it. He messages back. We set up a time to meet. And I look at this guy's photo, and I don't know what made me think this, but I thought, gosh, he's so cute and sweet looking. He's exactly the kind of guy that would surprise everyone by being a serial killer. Because that's always how it works, isn't it? It's always the cute, unassuming man whose neighbors never saw it coming, but he's inside making human bone broth and picking his teeth with a tibia.
That's crazy!
Oh, that's easy. I can explain that for you. You came to that incredibly absurd and ageist conclusion because you don't have a life. You spend your time on TikTok and watching true crime dramas. And in those shows, yeah, the killer is usually a kindly old man that nobody ever suspects. Now, you think that true crime dramas are somehow documentaries, that it's a reflection of real life, even though it's not. Now, I'm not trying to say that there aren't men out there who do willfully take the lives of other people. They most certainly do exist, but a serial killer? Come on, woman. If that was the case, Facebook Marketplace would be the one-stop shop when you needed a fresh corpse. No, what's really going on here, woman, is that you don't have any excitement going on in your life, so you need to conjure up these incredibly bizarre fantasies in order to make you feel something because you don't have anything else going for you. But that only happens in between moments when you're bragging on TikTok about how you buy used stuff off of Facebook Marketplace.
So I made my way there. I pull up, he's waving at me in the front. He says, come around to the back. I said, okay, what's the worst that could happen? I pull around, he's helping me get this thing in the back of my car. I'm closing my trunk door. I think, home stretch, another day of living fast and free. But before I close my door, this man says to me, I kid you not, gosh, that box is so big, you could fit a whole body in there. I said, yeah, but not mine. Peeled out. Oh, close one. So this box better last a lifetime because it almost cost me mine.
Well, what did the police say?
Woman, no, you did not almost escape with your life because we've already established you have no life in the first place. Now, we all know that you're full of crap. If this was the case, you would be panicking and also calling the police because you thought you were interacting with a suspected serial murderer. And this guy was so dangerous and so deadly that you actually had to pull over and film yourself doing this wannabe cool kid TikTok video about purchasing a box. Now, if we pretend that this incident actually happened, then I would actually say that this guy made an off-color joke and nothing more. But let's go ahead and take it one step further and say that this guy was actually violently wanting to take your life. But if that was the case, your female intuition told you that this guy was going to do that, and yet you willingly went to his house to pick up a freaking box. So it just sounds to me like you want needless drama in your life because nobody was interested in your purchasing habits of buying used crap from other people.
It's a fake.
I know a lot of people were saying that they want a clingy cat, but just honestly think about what you wish for, because I wasn't talking about you, I promise. He's extremely mad at me because I was away for the night, so he's been giving me a lot of sass and attitude. I'm sorry, okay? I had to go. My mom called me. You have to understand. Please don't be angry at me. The airplane ears, I think, are a little excessive because I was just gone for one night pump. This is what it's like to have a ginger cat. I know. I won't do it again. I think I'm his pet.
Lady, you are many things to that cat, but being his pet is most certainly not one of them. You're his butler, his servant, his maid, and in exchange for this treatment, that cat is going to give you attention, but only when it really wants it, and in the most annoying way possible. And that cat does not care about your feelings. It doesn't matter what kind of day you had. If it wants something from you, it's going to straight up demand it and won't leave you alone until its needs and wants are met. It's going to knock over glassware because it wants to. It's going to wake you up while you're sleeping because it can. And it is going to hold a grudge against you for the pettiest of reasons. It really is no wonder why modern women love cats so much. They're the feline manifestation of how they pretty much act in everyday life. Except for the whole crapping in a box thing. That's only if you're an only freak spice miner. And the sad part of all of it is that cat is the only warmth that you are going to feel for the rest of your life because, well, let's just face it, no self-respecting man is ever going to want to deal with a woman who shows her cat off on TikTok. I would like to take a second to extend the warmest of welcomes to Mark F., the newest member of the Bounty Board over on Patreon. Good sir, I cannot thank you enough for your support and generosity of my content, and it is a pleasure to have you. And I have it on good authority that you have a personalized reservation to ride shotgun in the well-maintained minivan of the intergalactic space god, Young Gimli Mulligard. All hail! Thank you once again for your support. And thank you to all of the fine members of the Bounty Board for your continued support of my work and ensuring that I'm getting the content out to you fine gentlemen and gents out there on planet Internet every single day. It is truly an honor and a privilege. All hail! And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. And I'll leave the link in the pinned comment down below. And of course, you can always support the channel by liking this video, sharing, leaving comments, and if you're enjoying my brand of content, then I hope I've earned your subscription today. Thank you for your support, gentlemen and gents.
I wear the same exact outfit every single first date without fail. And I've never been ghosted or rejected by a man after a first date, which I like to think is a relatively good sign. So today I'm gonna show you all my first date outfit formula that clearly never fails. And it starts with the most simple thing ever, an LBD. You're probably like, Sophie, what the heck is an LBD? A little black dress. I'm gonna show you all both iterations of my first date uniform because there's two. Fall, winter, spring, summer. This is dress number 1 from Norma Kamali. I also added black tights underneath for the fall winter look, and the shoes are so important. Knee-high black boots. These are the Vince Camuto boots I always wear.
Congratulations!
Oh, lady, I'll applaud you on finding an efficient route for all of your first dates, but I really think it's presumptuous to say that this is a successful way to go because, well, let's just face it. You're saying that you worn this on multiple first dates and you've never been ghosted, but you haven't said anything about how you are now married or even have a boyfriend. Now, you're looking at this the completely wrong way, sweetheart. Most men don't really care about what you wear on the first date. Most self-respecting men just want to get to know you a little bit. You don't need to go all out with the dressing. That's something that you do and you insist on doing. You don't do it for the man, you do it for the attention. Now, I am not an expert when it comes to women's fashion. It's just not something I've ever done as a self-respecting man, but it looks to me like you are dressing like a mid-class 80s Avenue stroller who's in a frickin' Julia Roberts movie, which would explain why Chad doesn't ghost you right away, but what do I know? I've never had multiple successful first dates only to be ghosted afterwards. But that's just because I don't date. I got better ways to waste my time.
Also, I'm gonna explain the psychology behind why this is the best first date outfit. So this outfit reels people in because it leaves the perfect amount to the imagination, if that makes sense. Because the outfit is inherently modest in nature because it's covering almost everything, but the dress is bodycon and you also have this like little sliver of thigh available to be seen. And then here's my spring summer first date uniform just so y'all can see. Guys, the LBD and knee-high boot combo never fails, just trust me on this one.
No.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, sister, because this is not a surefire way that will never fail you. If anything, all it's done is failed you, and it's all in the language that you use. You said it yourself. You have never been ghosted on a first date because of this ensemble of yours, but eventually things fizzle out because you've gone on multiple dates with multiple men. That's not a success story. That is actually quite the opposite of success, i.e. complete and utter failure. You're putting far too much weight on what you wear to these dates instead of being an interesting and friendly person. You'll have way more success if you do that. Well, that and maybe lower your standards a little bit when it comes to men, but that's a completely different story altogether. But if you honestly think that men want to date you because of the designer clothes that you wear, then your brain is beyond broken. But I estimate that it's gonna take you at least another 72.87 failed second dates for that to get through your skull, and by then you will already be at the wall, so there's really no point in me talking about it anymore.
No one makes friends with a failure. Okay? You understand?
If you're single and you're wondering why all these other girls are getting spoiled, are getting princess treatment, men are literally obsessed with them, wanting to commit to them right away, and you're out here getting ghosted, guys are literally giving you bare minimum, they are just taking you on coffee dates, and you're just like wondering, why can't I be the kind of girl who gets spoiled? I'm gonna give you the secret. Listen, I used to literally be the girl who got cheated on. I was paying for my own dates. I was literally in a 50-50 relationship. I was settling for bare minimum. It's literally because I was in my masculine energy and you could be too. This is repelling all the good guys.
And that's an interesting thing about mathematics is when you're 50% right, you're 100% wrong.
Wow, you truly are the voice of your generation, lady. It took you a bunch of failed relationships to realize that men don't like women who act masculine. Wow, yeah, you truly have earned that master's degree there, sweetheart. But even when you make a nugget of something that slightly resembles a good point, you still figure out a way to screw it up by saying that you want to utilize this in order to get men to spoil you. In other words, you're trying to encourage women to use their feminine wiles in order to latch onto a guy and use him for all of his resources. Now, it is true, men do want a loving woman that they can treat well, but at the same time, those men are also expecting something in return. And you're not mentioning anything about what you can do to make their lives better, you're just talking about what you can get out of the deal. And that's not gonna work for a self-respecting man, sweetheart. Men work far too hard in order to gain so little from a woman who refuses to admit that she's nothing more than a modern gold digger.
Guys, this is when you literally think that you have to actually
actually do things for a guy to make him like you. Whether that be change yourself so that he likes you more, whether that be planning dates with him, texting him, calling him, hooking up with him. When you want to get the kind of princess treatment you deserve, you feel scared to ask him to pay. You feel scared to do these things. You feel like you're asking for too much, or you feel like you don't want to rock the boat and you don't want to make him like run away. The secret is that men want to spoil you right now.
Really?
Lady, I have no idea how you don't feel embarrassed with this idiocy. It's almost uncanny. I mean, yeah, there are men out there who do want to make a woman happy, but that doesn't entail endlessly spoiling them while the woman just sits back and does nothing. And the man is not going to just work his ass off just to make you feel like a Disney animated creature. If you want a man to provide for you, you have to give him something worth providing for, and this usually comes around with you doing nice things for your man. It's really not that complicated. But I get it. You have nothing to offer, so you're trying to justify your laziness by saying that your average looks are more than enough to please any self-respecting man. But if you want that man to treat you like a princess, then you actually have to provide something a little bit more than nothing at all, because here's the thing about princesses, sweetheart. The reason why they're valuable is because it allows a nobleman to expand his territory, his incomes, and his martial prowess. And if you don't have an army to offer him, well, then he's not going to be interested in you.
Like, men want women, and we actually have the power to literally sit back in our feminine energy and receive gifts, receive love, receive time, energy, money, and literally make men obsessed with us, wanting to marry us. But we stop the natural flow, and we stop them from doing that when we are in our masculine energy, and when we're literally thinking to ourselves, oh, how can I get him to like me? Oh, I don't deserve that. Like, I don't want him to go away if I ask for too much. I'm gonna show you how to surprise, how to make him literally chase you and become obsessed with you.
What?
I find it kind of horrifying that you think you're in a position to teach other women how to get things in life when you don't know the first thing about men. If you want that man to give you his time, his energy, and his money, well, then you sure as hell better be ready to offer him something in return, because a man's just not going to shower you with all of those things if you're not doing anything. And let's just be real for a second. Even if you somehow were able to make a man magically obsessed with you, you would be so turned off by it that you would end up finding an excuse to leave him for being too freaking clingy. And I'm just gonna level with you, sweetheart. The odds of you actually finding a man like that are incredibly slim, and I'm being generous with that assumption because most men don't like a woman who uses the word literally inappropriately for every other word in every sentence that she speaks. It just tells men everywhere that you're incapable of using proper language and that it's going to be a pain in the ass to try to communicate with you because you don't know what words frickin' mean.
And how to create that dynamic in a relationship with a man where he is literally chasing you because you are the prize. He is spoiling you. He's literally giving you time, money, energy to earn you. And all you have to do in return is literally just give him your attention, give him your time, and give him your appreciation. And I'm gonna do that inside of the princess treatment formula. The girls who are using this formula are literally seeing men that ghosted them, that they were in situationships with, literally come back running, asking them to marry them, spoiling them, taking them on trips, giving them literally home-cooked meals, like literally treating them like queen, because now they're chasing you. If you wanna learn more, comment formula down below. Love you.
Nope. That would be a waste of time.
Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but I don't see how getting back with a former situationship shows that your so-called strategy actually works. I mean, even if what you're saying is true, which I can safely assume it's most certainly not, why would a woman want to go back to a man like that? Oh wait, that's right, I forgot, because he's hot and he's good in the bedroom. But that man is not obsessing over her. He's just telling her what she wants to hear so he can get back to Pound Town without having to download the dating apps, because dealing with women like that is too much of a pain in the ass when he already has a woman on standby who's willing to take him back at the drop of a hat. But you know what? I can't help but be curious over these success stories of yours, of all of these literal countless messages that you've got of women hooking up with their past situationships. Why not show the receipts? I mean, modern women have no problem displaying text messages all over the planet, so why don't you do this? It would be one hell of an advertisement for what you're trying to peddle, but we all know that you won't, because your one success story is about a woman who hooked up with a situationship and now she assumes that she's in love with him because she paid her money to a worthless grifter. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.